So moving on to Division 3 now, we're going to talk about some of the better teams in each conference. Conference A, there's the East Division and the West Division. There's two teams to really look forward to, watching them perform in the East Division. There would be the Falcons, who were formerly known as the Packers in Division 3, made it to the conference finals before losing to the Wolfpack in the winter season. So they had a tremendous defense, and definitely they're one team to look out for. Anybody got anything to say about the Falcons?
Well, a couple of guys on the Falcons, formerly known as the Packers. I remember playing against them in Division 3, and they do have a really, really good team. The only thing is, from what I've seen them play in Division 2, they played in the Phoenix last spring, actually, a couple of guys, and they're a very good team, but I find they're really more motivated by adrenaline than anything else. The talent level is up there, but I find if they don't have a game breaker, which they don't at this point, again, I don't think they'll have the same repeat performance as last year.
They did have Vincent Roy last year, Defensive Player of the Year in Division 3, but definitely they'll be in tough in a more competitive Division 3 now. And then another team in the East Division there is the Jokers. So
I think Jokers are a good team. Unfortunately, the U didn't get to play them last year, but I know with players like Sean Haney and a player, I forget his name, but he has the house written on his back of his shoulder. It's definitely a good player. They also have Crow, who's one of the most explosive players in D3, so they should be a big threat to win the whole thing.
Yeah, Sean Haney, I think, is a great talent. Watching him play with you guys on Friday night, I thought he possessed such talent with his size and speed and his cover ability. I think he'll be the Defensive Player of the Year in D3.
That's a bold prediction.
Oh, I know it is.
In a show full of them. So now we're going into the West Division of Conference A. There's a couple teams to look out for. Flying Weasels, who Ross is the U who played in the playoffs.
Yeah, playoffs. They were a young team, not too experienced. They were coached slightly by Martin Tugas, the quarterback for Phoenix and now the Kings. They're a good team. They run a great offense, and I'd say that give them a little more experience and they might make it in D3.
And then the other team to look out for, a team that won their conference in Division 3 last season and that Ross played on, which we just mentioned, was the U, before losing in the conference finals to the Mustangs. So the U.
Yeah, look, Felaku, the originator of the U, I remember him telling me one day our team nickname was the U. I'm like, you serious, man? Look, bottom line is with the U is, can Phil take this team to the next level? I remember when he first played in the first exhibition game in 2006, and I said to myself, okay, he's got some potential. And this year, this past spring, he did pretty well. And finally this year, I think will be the stage for him to jumpstart his career and become one of the better players in D3.
But just to interrupt, the U was born on defense. We have, or had, I should say, in the summer, the least amount of points scored on in a complete season in FlagPlus, averaging less than 11 points a game. Also, with players like Ravi Mehta, who's by far one of the fastest and most explosive players in the whole flag, D1, D2, D3 combined, I think that they have a chance to go all the way anytime that Ravi touches the ball.
And of course, Ravi is the two-time defending two-way player of the year in Division 3. So that's just backing up what Ross just said. He's a tremendous player.
Question is, though, will he jump up to D2 and D1 eventually?
Well, that's a question better asked for Ravi, but maybe we'll get maybe we'll get some.
I've tried multiple times to sign him to the Shockers, but he's waiting for a bigger.
He's too loyal at this point, I think.
Well, we'll see what happens. Conference B, Division 3 now. Let's take a look. There's many teams in the East Division. Quite a few of them are new. I know Jasmumus had a good season last year. The Titans, we remember by name. Then there's Vitamin C.
Never heard of that team before.
You never heard of that team?
Never heard of that team.
I'd be more scared if their name was HGH, but Vitamin C doesn't scare me that much.
Well, regardless of the name, it's a pretty good team. I'm actually a part of that team. That's no reflection upon the caliber of the team whatsoever. But well, gunning for a second straight D3 championship, but we'll see what happens. But it's a great team, quarterbacked by Martin Touga, and a couple players from the Phoenix as well. Some very talented players, and we're hoping to do well. So that's that for the East Division. Moving on to the West Division, there's the KGP champs who made it to the conference finals in the spring season, and before losing to the Orangemen, but the KGP champs.
This team has a quarterback who's really not given a lot of credit, and I think he's a great runner, has a good arm, again, really good play calling, and KGP champs, again, came, like you said, very close to going all the way. And I think they're just getting stronger as each season goes on, getting stronger. Because they're the kind of group of guys who play together all the time and they build their chemistry as such. And I think KGP is definitely bound to have a finals this year.
Definitely. Phil Cutler, one of the better quarterbacks, especially very mobile.
Does he have Jay Cutler's arm, though?
Well, you know, I don't think anybody does. But
We don't have Denver's defense.
screw you guys. So then the other team to look at is Nixon's Renegades, who were formerly known as the Orange Men. We played them in the finals, and I can tell you, definitely, that is one of the best. I mean, we went through that whole run. Things went well for us. We played a lot of good teams, but they pushed us to the limit, and in the end, we ended up winning on the last play. They ended up going for 2, going for the win. We stopped them, but that's a tremendous team, and with Kirby Short at quarterback, and I can't say anymore. This is a very, very good team, and they're definitely, if they bring everyone back, going to be one of the better teams in Conference B.
I'd also add the Renegades have my current teammate Dale Williams, who as well as another great teammate to have, and I think he's another game breaker. That his size, his speed, you know, his athletic ability at times to make good catches.
His heart.
And his heart, I mean, he's definitely passionate. He'll go all out every play, every down. And I think he's another guy to look forward to in that team who can be definitely a game breaker down the road.
Despite all that, one of the classiest players in Division 3. So that's going to be it for Division 3. We're going to be moving on